Hey everyone, John here, and welcome back to the Toy Box. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're having a great day and a great weekend. And I hope you're ready to look at a new Nendoroid figure. Today we have the Raihan Nendoroid figure. There's a lot to go over here. First, I'll show you guys the packaging that it comes with. Then we'll look at each individual piece. And then after that, we'll have some fun with poses. And lastly, I'll give you my review of the figure. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright guys, let's go ahead and look at the packaging. So starting at the front, we have a window where we can see our figures. We have Raihan's name right here. The front also has a warning about small parts, so be careful with this figure, especially with young children. And then up here, we specify that this is a Pokémon Center version. I don't know if this figure will be sold otherwise as anything other than a Pokémon Center version. But for right now, this figure does have a Pokemon Center version right here. Let's take a look at the back. So we have some poses that Raihan can be in. We'll go ahead and take a look at these a little later. And right here, the important part is we have the list of all the parts you're going to get. So here is the list right here. And I want to point out just the Pokemon Center Exclusive version of the phone right here. Now take a look at the sides so you can see more pictures of Raihan and Duraludon. Here is the top, and here is the bottom. Now let's go ahead and open it up. I already took the tape off the top just so that it would be easier, but there will be tape there for you to take out. Alright, so we have this blue background piece right here. And here we go. This is how everything looks. So first we have our instruction manual. We'll be looking at this later. And here is how everything is laid out. Now, a strong suggestion. Take a picture of this before you take any of the pieces or the figure out of this packaging. There is nothing worse than trying to put the figure back in its packaging and you have no idea where something is supposed to go or something doesn't fit right. So I learned that lesson with some of my other Nendoroid figures, so always take a picture of this, just for reference. And you can see everything here. You can see the figure, the plates, and the little parts right here. Here are the phones. And if you turn it around, you can see the stand right here taped to the bottom. And then on the side, you can see the exclusive phone right here. Now be careful with this. I know this is a Pokemon Center exclusive and I already emphasized the phone, but I actually missed this on my first round when I looked inside the package. So be careful, don't miss this. Well anyways, I'm going to go ahead and unpack everything and we're going to go ahead and take a look at each piece individually. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright everyone, let's go ahead and take a look at each individual piece that we get with this set. So first I'm going to show you the instructions, and the reason why I'm going to show you this first is because you get a listing here of everything that you're going to get labeled. So we have all the parts here, I've checked them all, and you get instructions as well as how to attach all the parts. So if you're not familiar with Nendoroid figures, then you can use it, and even if you are, it's always good to take a look. And on the other side, they have, I think these are French instructions, so we have both English and French. So there's the instruction manual. Now next, we'll go ahead and take a look at Raihan himself. So here is the figure. We can take a look and twirl him around. This is how it looks. So this is the point where you would put the joint attach the joint for the stand. And let's take a look at the pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and take the figure apart so that you guys can see. Now here's the hat. So the hat comes off like this. And then here is the first face plate. So you can change face plates like this. You take this out and put the face plate back in. Now, I normally would not take off the head, but I just wanted to show you the collar. It's a little easier if I remove the head for a second. So here, Raihan's collar has two pegs right here that you put into the shoulders. So that just goes like this. Let's go ahead and put the head back. Okay, and here are Raihan's arms. Now they come off like this, so you can put the extra arms and joints on there. Let me show you this. Each arm, it comes apart at the shoulder. It also comes apart in the hands. Now, Raihan's hands are very easy to tell apart. With some Nendoroid figures, I have a hard time telling which is the right and the left hand. But remember that Raihan's right hand will have a glove, and his left hand will not. So there's always that you can go with. And looking at the legs. Now, we don't get any spare legs for this figure, so there's no reason to take the legs off, but they do come off the joint like this. I'll show you that. And just like that also. I think you can move the legs like this. So, but there's really no reason to do it because Raihan doesn't come with extra legs. So there you go. That's the Raihan figure. Let's take a look at Duraludon. So Duraludon, I believe, is hollow. It doesn't have nearly the same weight as the figure does. The figure is much heavier than Duraludon is. So this figure is very posable. So you can open his mouth. That's how it looks inside. You can move the arms up and down and even to the back. I'll show you from the side so that you can see. It's pretty flexible. And the same thing with the legs. The legs can go in either direction. There's really no stopping right here. And my figure is pretty easy, so it doesn't take a lot of force to move the joints. But if yours is a little stuck, then just be careful. On the instructions, they actually suggest using warm water to loosen the joints if needed. I'm not really sure if I agree with that, but because I would not really want to get these figures wet. But if you warm them up, it probably will help you. Just be very careful when you do it and don't use any kind of flame or anything like that. Maybe just in your hands or something. But anyway, that's Duraludon. Now next we have two faceplates. So this is plate number 2. This looks like Raihan's winking at you. So he always looks like a fun guy. He also looks kind of cocky all the time. He is the last gym leader, so he's probably earned that, right? But there you go. This face, he's winking at you. And then the third one, he's smiling. He's got his eyes closed. There you go. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the phones. So these are the phones that come with the figure. So first, this is a spare hand for Raihan. He's holding the phone. So here it is on this side, and you can see the details on the phone on the other side. And then next, we have the phone on its own. So if you remember how Raihan is, his phone will float around him. So you actually have an extra stand in for this figure for that. So there's one phone. Here's the other side. The screen is mostly blocked by this joint that you use for the stand. And here is the Pokemon Center Exclusive phone. It just has another expression. So it's one was smiling, the other one has the smile a little bit tilted to the side. Then next we have spare arms. So here is a spare right arm. And here is a spare left arm. And next we have a couple of spare left hands. So here's a thumbs up. And then here is just a palm out. And then we have a spare shoulder joint. I will admit that I had no idea what this was at first until I started really looking at the pictures, but this is a spare shoulder. Then now we get to the stand. So here is the stand for this figure. There are two sizes of holes here for the two stands that you get. So here is the stand for Raihan himself. And of course, like all the other stands, it can extend and mold however you want it to. And here is the second stand. This stand is specifically for the phone. And then lastly, we have an extra joint, just like all the other Nendoroid figures come with. So there we go. So those are all the pieces for this figure. So what we're going to go ahead and do next is I'm going to go ahead and put Raihan in different poses, and we're going to go ahead and examine each one. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, this is pose number 1. This is Raihan with all the default parts that came on the figure right out of the box. So we have Raihan standing here looking at you as if you're a challenger. And we have Rotom right beside him, filming him. And then we have Duraludon next to him ready for battle. So let's go on to the next pose. This is pose number 2. This is approaching Raihan as a gym challenger when you're about to get onto the field. I used the spare shoulder as well as the open palm for the left hand for this one. This is pose number 3, Duraludon and Raihan in battle poses during a gym battle. So they both have their arms up, claws out. There weren't any angry faceplates for Raihan, so I took the best one that I could, and I did take the 2 palms out arms for this one. So there it is, battle pose for Raihan and Duraludon. This is pose number 4. This is Duraludon in a position to use Steel Beam, and Raihan has the fists back on. Now, I made this pose mostly so that you can see how much flexibility you have with Duraludon. You can pretty much pose it any way you want. So this is Duraludon using Steel Beam with Raihan and his fists. Alright, this is pose number 5. This is Raihan posing for a selfie with Rotom. I used the alternate shoulder for the right arm as well as the Rotom hand. And I'm using the thumbs up left hand. So there we go, Raihan taking a selfie. Alright, this is pose number 6. This is Raihan just making small talk with somebody. It's a more relaxed pose. I'm using all the default pieces. The only piece that I really changed is faceplate number 3, where his eyes are closed and they are smiling. This is pose number 7. Raihan is posing for another selfie, except this time Rotom is floating around instead of Raihan holding it. Now, the Rotom I used for this one is the Pokémon Center Exclusive with the alternate face. Alright guys, we're not going to be able to get away without doing at least a couple of wrestling poses. So here is pose number 8. This is Raihan doing the standard grappling pose. Now the open palm hands actually lend themselves pretty well to this pose, so I'm pretty satisfied. And this is the last pose, pose number 9. This is Raihan coming off the top rope for an elbow drop on Duraludon. Alright, so we have looked at the Raihan Nendoroid figure. I really enjoyed this figure. The colors and details are very precise and done very well. You even get the number and logo on his uniform. There are tons of poses you can do with this figure. And Duraludon is also great. It has 5 points of articulation, which was really nice. The colors, details, and scaling on the figure are also well done. And you can't forget about the Rotom Phones. The Rotom Phones are really small, but the details are very precise and very well done. So I really enjoyed this figure. So anyways, what do you guys think of Raihan? Let me know in the comments section below. If you are interested in getting Raihan for your collection, I'll put a link to Pokémon Center in the description. At the time of filming, this figure is going for $59.99. Well, that's all I have for you guys this week. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, rate, subscribe, and don't stop playing.